All right, and we're back here on the ninth annual edition of Couch Coach Live NFL Preview, where we'll be previewing all 32 teams of the National Football League. We continue our preview with the Las Vegas. I didn't say Oakland, but the Las Vegas Raiders. So, it's a new year, new leaf, a new me. So, so we got our guy. I affectionately call him D Hop. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's up? Everybody know me, man. Spotlight Raiders Talk is in the building. The nation's in the building. I'm excited for this, and I'm happy you reached out to me because, every time you talk to your Raiders, you got to call on me for the information, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, my go-to when it comes to Raiders and just anything NFL, definitely do a lot this year because I know we talked with that, but yeah, so because we don't play each other this year, so I definitely got to get you tapped in as much as I can during NFL season. So yeah, so our NFL previews are powered by the good folks at Goalie. Head over to goalie.com, use our promo code CouchCoach to get yourself 10% off at checkout. So the 2022 Las Vegas Raiders. So I want to get your thoughts on the offseason, and also obviously we know that Davante Adams was one of your biggest acquisitions. Just talk about some other acquisitions that you guys got in the offseason.
Well, we all know Davante Adams was the biggest splash that we had, going into the offseason, because there's been so many rumors about that happening. Even beginning of last year, it was talks about that as well, because how Derek friends with Derek Carr. But it's been some other ones. Chandler Jones, that was a big one that came on the defensive side, even though that we did have Yannick at the time, and we did trade for him, and we ended up getting a young cornerback in Rock Ya-Sin. So that was a really big one on the defensive side as well. We got a lot of, players to come in. Jonathan Hankins re-signed with us, and then we end up drafting those two, Matthew Butler from Tennessee, and getting Neil Farrell from LSU. And we got some other Vernon Butler, which was on the non-injury list as of right now, but we end up getting him from Buffalo. Some few acquisitions on the defensive side of the ball. Offensive side, we really didn't address the offensive line like that, but we did go out and get some wide receivers like Demarcus Robinson, Mac Hollins. We drafted Zamir White. We brought in Brandon Bolden from the New England Patriots. So we brought in some, Patriot familiarities that knows the offense. So it was some pretty decent acquisitions for the Las Vegas Raiders on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, big time. So heading into this season, what do you deem as the biggest storyline heading into the Raiders season?
We all know Davante Adams. I mean, I know it's repetitive. I can completely understand that. But Davante Adams and the Derek Carr, combination, they being best of friends, and everybody's talking about Davante and stuff like that. But the biggest storyline that I really want to see is this offensive line. That's what I really want to see, because this offensive line, we got all these running backs with Jacobs, Drake, Zamir White, the other running back from UCLA, Brandon Bolden. We want to see what this offensive line will do. We see what this defensive line can do. So that's one of my big. I mean, of course, the Adams is the biggest one, but getting Chandler Jones, that was a big big storyline going into the season. But I think our offensive line is going to be one in our defense. How our defense is going to be now with Patrick Graham coming over from the New York Giants. So that's going to be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. And what's your thoughts on the offense? Your outlook on the Raiders offense?
Whew. This is going to be an offense that defense is going to have to pick their poison with, and I'm going to be completely honest about it. Just because if you think of it, Waller, Renfro, Adams, you add even Keelan Cole, we got him as well, with a Demarcus Robinson and Mac Hollins and Tyrod Johnson. We got so many weapons, and we got a hell of a wide receiver depth chart. Even on the tight end, Foster Moreau, we have him. Then Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake, Zamir White, running backs by committee. Offensive line, I think is going to come back together. I don't know if you saw my video earlier, but Denzel Good, that tore his ACL last year, is fully good to go this year at the left guard or right guard position. You still have Alex Leatherwood, which I wasn't a big fan of, and still not a big fan of, but he's going to develop. We drafted Dylan Parham. Andre James going to stay at center. This offense is going to look really good. I think Josh McDaniels brought in a great coaching staff to actually teach these guys to be continuity on that offensive line, because that's where it starts. If nobody plays football, defensive offensive lines, that's where it starts. But that's what makes everything else work in the back end. Quarterbacks or linebackers or wide receivers or corners. If it ain't no defensive line or offensive line, you don't have nothing else. So if I'm going to look at the offensive side, I'm looking at it from the offensive line and going all the way up. Derek Carr might have one of his greatest years, even though he threw for almost 4,800 yards last year. He might throw for 5,000 this year, the weapons that he had. So I'm pretty looking forward to this offense. I'm telling you, defenses, you're going to have to pick your poison who you want to double team.
Yes, definitely with that Devontae Adams acquisition, that definitely was huge, obviously with that. But yeah. So your thoughts on the defense?
Defense is looking really good. The only thing I'm concerned about right now is the defensive tackle position, knowing that we have two players on the PUP list from the defensive tackle position as Bilal Nichols and Jonathan Hankins, and Vernon Butler is on a non-injury list, so he's not on the PUP list, but I'm really concerned about our defensive tackles. I really hope the Raiders can bring back Darius Philon. That's one of the biggest ones that has not been signed yet to any team, and he was with the Raiders last year and had a great year with us. Bringing in on defense, Anthony Everett, Rock Ya-Sin. We just brought in Mathis Farley from the Tennessee Titans. He played with the Colts as well. Another safety. We brought in somebody, Ike Brown, from the USFL, played for the New Orleans Breakers. Denzel Perriman, Kyle Fackrell. We have a few linebackers. Denzel Perriman is going to keep. Max Crosby, of course, is going to be the pass rusher. Chandler Jones is going to be a force. Trayvon Merrick is coming into his second year. Can Trayvon Mullen be healthy by the time week 1 starts? Jonathan Abram, it's a make or break year for him too. So it's going to be a lot of pieces with the defense, knowing that we lost like the Solomon Thomases and Carl Nassib and other players, but I think we filled that role in trying to get, them filled, even though we have a rotation of rookies that's going to be playing too. So Patrick Graham knows one thing about Patrick Graham, I can say this. He plays to what the opponent is. He doesn't stay in a Pacific defense. He goes from 3-4 or 4-3, or he goes to a dime. He goes to a nickel. He goes to man. He goes to cover 2. He's very complex with his defense, and I think that's going to complement us in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to take care of my boy Cleveland, man. RVA,
yeah,
RVA legend.
He's not. I hope. Listen. I'm giving Cleveland one last year to get it together, man. He played D tackle a little bit. He played a little bit of DN. He played a little bit of linebacker. Now he's in his third defense in the years that 4 years that he was here. He had Paul Gunther, he had Gus Bradley for 1 year, and now he got Patrick Graham. Hopefully he can understand his defense and have a breakout year. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, because I know it's definitely I know he get that extension. I figured this got to be like a proven year for him. So yeah, definitely.
Right.
Huge shout out to our local guy. Shout out to Cleveland.
Yeah, shout out to Cleveland Farrell. Shout out to him.
Yes, sir. So we know that the NFL schedule, we got 17 weeks on the docket. It gotta be it could be 1 or 2 or whatever games that you're circling on the calendar.
Every game in the AFC West. Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers. Every game in the AFC West, because if you look at it, the AFC West has gotten better in this offseason. With the Chargers, with the Khalil Mack, that story going back to playing with the Raiders, used to playing with the Raiders, going up against his friend Derek Carr, and they end up getting J.C. Jackson on that back end with Derwin James. The day you got the Denver Broncos that brought in Russell Wilson, which they was only a quarterback away because they already had a good defense. They had some good receivers. They had a good offense. They were just a quarterback away. So we got to see what they're going to do. And then, of course, you got the reigning champions of the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. And I'm not a big fan of Juju Smith-Schuster. I just don't think he's going to do great there. But you got a Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback. He can make anybody look good. So this defense is, division is up for grabs. So those division games I'm looking forward to. But if I want to look outside of the division games, I'm looking at the Indianapolis Colts game. We play them every year, and it's always a great year or a great game when we play them. They beat us the year before last, and then we beat them last year. So now it's tied like 1-1. Who's going to get that third win? So it's going to be very interesting. And they got to come to our house this year. So, yeah, AFC West in Indianapolis Colts. I'm not really looking for. I mean, I'm looking forward to some NFC games, but I'm really looking forward to going up against Jonathan Taylor versus our defense.
Yeah, big time. And that's another one too, where that could be, and I always put like you in Indianapolis, those two teams that are like playoff bound type teams. So this could mean a playoff implications down the road. Also, now we got a Matt Ryan. Now that's going to be kind of interesting how that plays out. Will that be a seamless transition? Almost is it's going to be eerily similar to like how the Carson Wentz situation, where hey, it worked out for the majority part of the season, and then it kind of fizzled at the end when they needed it the most. So it's definitely gonna be intriguing, because that could definitely be a potential playoff game. So yeah, I mean, far
it is gonna be interesting too, knowing that Gus Bradley is the defensive coordinator over there now.
Yeah.
So a lot of storylines with that game.
Yeah. So like I get everyone, on the pod. As far as now, I got you the $60 million question. In 2022, the Las Vegas Raiders will finish
13-4. That's my high ceiling for them. But I want to go floor and I want to be realistic. I'll say 12-6.
Okay.
I just really think that we board in the right pieces. I really think that is no room for going backwards. We did go 10-7 last year. Now it's time to win more double-digit wins. And the way our schedule is looking, it's possible. It's really possible. I think our hardest games probably at New Orleans, which we never lost in New Orleans since 2016. But even though New Orleans is still a good team down there, the Colts game, like I said before, and it's a few other games on that roster on that schedule that I like to see. But the AFC West games are going to be good. I think that's why if I go 12-6, most of those games are going to come from the AFC West.
So with that division, with that record, y'all win the AFC West?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs took a step back this year. They lost a lot of pieces. They have issues with Orlando Brown at the offensive line position. Like I said, Tyreek Hill is no longer in that division. McCole Hardman is good, but he's only benefited off of Tyreek Hill. And he's going to be benefited off of Travis Kelce. I think Travis Kelce is the number one target there. And there's not too many weapons. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster, if he stopped dancing and actually played football, he'll be fine. So I can say that. But I think the Chiefs is going to really fall this year. I really got that feeling they're going to fall. Even though they had Patrick Mahomes, I just don't trust that defense. Chargers, that's going to be our biggest test in the division. Them and Denver. Even though I have Denver still being at the bottom of the AFC West because how so competitive we are, I still think every team in the division is going to at least have 8 wins, at least.
Yeah. And it's funny, if you look at from just as a standpoint for this division, you really can make a case for all 4 teams to make the playoffs. And it's just, and
it's crazy.
Yeah. And that's because this is your moment. But we look at, like you said, as you alluded to earlier, situation now with Denver, the only really issue was the quarterback. And now they got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, you add that coupled with, the Chargers got better because, they were a timeout away from actually being in the playoffs. Y'all gave them a little Christmas gift, but they weren't receptive to it. And,
we both, even though that they just should have ran the clock out, both of us would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey.
Right. Y'all
Chargers
gave them.
Fans,
right.
Y'all Chargers fans, thank you. Y'all, you understand we division rivals, but we both would have been in postseason. I'm just saying.
Because y'all gave it to him. And I was like, what y'all doing?
Yeah, we was giving it to him until the fourth quarter. That turned into an overtime game that I never want to watch again.
Yeah. So with that, now with you, having that record, how far would this team make it?
Me personally, I can see us getting to at least a divisional round as a floor. But if I want to be unrealistic, I'm gonna say AFC Championship game. Um, I really want us to win the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, I really want us to get there to the Super Bowl. But as a Raiders fan, I have to be realistic with myself. I don't want to put too much high hopes on it. That's why I say I have a high ceiling, then I have a floor, because sometimes I gotta come back down to earth and humble myself a little bit, because you never know what happened with these Raiders teams. You just never know. So me personally, I say, yeah, Super Bowl or bust. I think that's for every team, Super Bowl or bust. Yeah. But since we've been to the wild card, I think the next step is divisional or conference championship.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Hey, it's definitely something to watch for in this season. Mm-hmm. Definitely appreciate you for hopping on for the Las Vegas Raiders preview. See, there I go. I was on point in the beginning, got a little cocky, and then all of a sudden, you see how I done messed that up.
Hey, I even say Oakland sometimes. So I mean, right. I know. Even as a Raiders fan, sometimes I say Oakland.
I said any team that has moved within maybe the last 5 to 10 years, I would literally call them their old state.
Right.
Like all the time. Like it's just crazy. But yeah, so we'll put a bow on this preview. Social media, upcoming plugs, what you got going on?
Well, on social media, you can find me on YouTube at Spotlight Raiders Talk, Twitter at Spotlight RN Talk, Instagram, Spotlight Raiders Talk. And in 2 weeks, I will be at the Hall of Fame game, ladies and gentlemen. So any Raiders fans are out there and you want to come speak to me, I will be at the Hall of Fame game that whole weekend. I'll be out there from the 4th to the 6th. So make sure y'all come out there and pop out and talk to me. Let's talk some football. Let's hang out, So I'm not a celebrity or anything, but hey, Raider Nation or anybody that's just football related, come out and hang out with me. I'll be there.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be great. Yeah, it's football heaven, man. It's a sight. Yes.
First time ever being at the Hall of Fame game, so that's definitely dope.
Yeah. That's gonna be dope. I've been to the museum, but I never actually been to the game. But yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, bro. Yes, indeed. Yeah, definitely appreciate you for coming on to preview the Las Vegas Raiders for us and our 2002 NFL preview. Definitely appreciate it. And once again, man, we'll catch you around during the NFL season. We'll have you on and we'll tap in.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure. Always love coming on here and talking football with you, man. So thanks, man. Really appreciate it, man. Love what you're doing over here.
Appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one. All right.